Maya's pulse quickened as she and her friends ascended the narrow, winding path through the dense forest. They had been hiking for hours, led by Kai, who claimed to know the way to an ancient, forgotten shrine hidden deep in the woods. "Are we sure this is a good idea?" Haruka asked. "It's just an old shrine. Imagine the views we'll get on Instagram when we post about finding it," Kai replied. Maya forced a smile. She wasn't superstitious, but the stories she had read unsettled her. According to the legend, the shrine was dedicated to a powerful spirit that had been sealed away centuries ago. Enraged by the villagers who had forgotten it, it cursed the land, bringing misfortune to anyone who dared disturb its resting place. The forest grew denser as they climbed higher. Maya's skin prickled with a sense of being watched. Finally, they arrived at a small clearing. In the center stood the shrine. The shrine looked ancient, its surface weathered and cracked by time. At the base of the shrine lay a decapitated statue. The eerie stillness of the clearing made Maya's skin crawl, but she forced herself to step closer, curiosity and unease battling within her. As she hesitated near the shrine, her foot slipped on the uneven ground. Before she could catch herself, her boot came down hard on something solid. A sickening crunch echoed through the air as she realized what she had stepped on. A head. Maya recoiled in horror as she looked down at the head. "This place gives me the creeps," her eyes darting around the clearing. Kai was snapping photos with his phone, circling the shrine and capturing every angle. Maya hesitated, then pulled out her own phone to document their find. As they finished taking pictures, Kai approached the shrine and placed his hand on the stone surface. "Looks like there's some writing here," he said, squinting at the faded characters. "Don't touch it," Maya blurted out. "We don't know what could happen." Kai hesitated, his hand hovering over the faded stone surface. But curiosity got the better of him. "It's just an old shrine," he said, rolling his eyes as he brushed away more of the moss. The ground beneath them shook violently. "We should go," Haruka urged, her voice trembling. Yuki nodded in agreement, her eyes wide with fear. Reluctantly, Kai nodded, and they began to make their way down the path. But as they turned to leave the clearing, Maya froze. The shrine seemed to tremble, and a low, guttural growl echoed through the forest. "What the hell was that?" Kai whispered. Before anyone could answer, the ground split open, and a dark, shadowy figure emerged from the earth. It was a fox. Its fur was black as night, and its 9 tails moved like serpents behind it. Its eyes glowed a menacing red, and its sharp fangs gleamed in the dim light. It let out a bone-chilling screech. They bolted down the path, branches tearing at their clothes and faces as they fled. The fox chased them. Maya's lungs burned as she ran. She could hear the others behind her, their frantic breaths mingling with the sound of the creature's growls. As they neared the base of the mountain, Yuki suddenly screamed, her voice cut short by a sickening crunch. Maya glanced back, her heart stopping as she saw Yuki's lifeless body laying in a pool of blood. Her head twisted at an unnatural angle. Kai grabbed Maya's arm and pulled her forward. Tears streamed down her face as they sprinted through the darkness. They burst out of the forest and into the open, the lights of the village visible in the distance. For a brief moment, Maya thought they had escaped. But the fox was relentless. It lunged at Haruka, its claws raking against her back. She screamed in agony as she collapsed to the ground, blood pooling beneath her. Its growls filled the air. It was right behind them now. Desperation fueled her, pushing her to run faster than she ever had in her life. The village gate was up ahead. But as they reached the gate, Kai tripped, his body slamming into the ground. The sound of his impact was followed by a piercing screech. It was on him in an instant, its fangs sinking into his neck. Kai's eyes went wide with terror as blood spurted from the wound. Kai's body convulsed in pain, his screams echoing through the forest before abruptly cutting off as the fox crushed his windpipe with a sickening crunch. It turned to face Maya. A twisted grin spread across its face, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. Maya fell to her knees, her stomach heaving as she vomited onto the ground. It stopped and looked up at her, its red eyes glowing. It slowly rose from Kai's mutilated body, its gaze locking onto Maya. "You have awakened me, foolish girl," it hissed. The words weren't spoken aloud, but they reverberated inside her skull, drowning out her thoughts. "You and your friends have desecrated my shrine, and now you will pay the price." Maya's heart pounded as she backed away. She could see the village just a few feet away, but the fox blocked her path. It circled her slowly, its tails twitching with anticipation. Its form began to shift. It grew taller until it stood before her as a twisted version of herself. Its face was a grotesque mockery of Maya's own. "Do you see now?" it said. "You cannot escape me, for I am a part of you." Maya could feel its presence inside her. She staggered forward, trying to reach the village, but her legs gave way beneath her, and she collapsed onto the cold, hard ground. The world around her blurred, the village lights fading into the distance as the creature's malevolent presence consumed her. "You're not real," Maya whispered, her voice barely audible, as she clawed at the dirt trying to crawl away. But it only laughed. "I am as real as your fears, your darkest desires. You woke me, Maya, and now you will never be rid of me." With a final surge of willpower, Maya pushed herself onto her hands and knees. She had to make it to the village, to safety, anything that could break the hold over her. But as she rose, the ground shifted beneath her feet. She stumbled again, this time catching herself on the village gate. The fox, still in her twisted form, circled her. "They can't help you." Maya's breath came in ragged gasps as she looked at her hands, stained with blood and dirt. But the skin began to change, growing darker, more claw-like. She choked back a scream as she realized the kitsune was transforming her into one of its own. Suddenly, the ground beneath her split open with a deafening crack, and from the earth, the twisted spirits of the creature's past victims began to emerge. Their bodies were mangled and deformed, their eyes burning with hatred and sorrow. They surrounded her, clawing at her. "You will join us," they whispered in a chorus of despair. Maya staggered back, but there was nowhere to run. She could feel their pain, their suffering, and it began to melt with her own. Their memories flooded her mind, visions of terror, of lives brutally cut short, of hope snuffed out by the relentless curse. The spirits that now tormented her weren't strangers. They were the villagers, those who had lived and died long before her time, and even her friends who had died just moments before. Their faces were familiar, but now distorted by the curse. "You are the next," one spirit hissed, its breath cold against her neck. Maya's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the full horror of the situation. Its curse was ancient, and every generation it claimed another soul and turned them into the fox demon. And now Maya was to be its newest victim, forever trapped in this twisted world, her humanity lost to the malevolent spirit that had ensnared her.